And after the other day, if many of you, I suppose, are here this morning to hear as I tried to, in my humble, simple way, to explain the vision that I saw of heaven. I would by no means ever try to doubt anything that anyone ever told me that God told them. I believe it even if I didn't see it in the Scripture, I would still want to believe that brother's word. I might just stay right along with the Bible, but still I would believe that maybe brother just misunderstood it some way. That he might have just got it mixed up a little. And still I would believe he'd be my brother. And if there's anything that burns within my heart, and I hope it never leaves in my years to come, that I'll never forget what happened last Sunday morning as a week. Amen. It has done something to me that's revolutionized my life. I do not fear. I have not one fear of death. Death has no fear at all. And it doesn't for you if you just understood. Now maybe if you'd have to have the experience to know it, because there's no way to explain it. You cannot find words because it doesn't lay in the English dictionary or no other dictionary, because it's in an eternity. No yesterday, no tomorrow. It's all present tense. And it's no, I feel pretty good, and an hour from now I don't feel so well, and another hour I feel good again. It's present tense all the time. Never a cease. Just that glorious peace, something. And there can be no sin, there could be no jealousy, there could be no sickness, there could be nothing ever reach that heavenly shore. And if I may have the privilege of saying this, which maybe I do not. If I do not, then I pray God forgive me. But if I have the privilege, and it was, that God let me be caught up to see something, I would refer to the first heavens. And then I believe one in the Bible by the name, I believe it was Paul, that was caught up into the third heavens. And if it was this glorious in the first heavens, what does that third heavens hold? No wonder he couldn't speak of it for 14 years. He said he did not know whether he was in body or out of body. With that great apostle, not to share his office, or not to try to make ourselves anything like he was. But I can say with him, I don't know whether it was in this body or out of the body. Only thing, it was just as real as I'm looking at you. And I've always wondered about if I'd pass by, I'd see a little cloud floating by, a spirit, and say, there goes brother and sister, that's Charlie and Nellie. That's brother and sister Spencer going there. That always puzzled me. If my eyes is in the grave decaying, rotting, if my ears is not here to hear anymore, and if my blood is all gone back and they've embalmed it and it's in the waters or in the ground, and my mental faculties, my brain cells are all gone, then how would I be any more than just a spirit floating around? That worried me. How would I like to say, hello, Brother Pat. Oh, so glad to see you. Hello, Brother Neville. How I would like to see you. But I thought, well, if I don't have anything to see with, any mouth to speak with, It's rotten. It's dust. How would I be able to say, hello, Brother Pat, hello, Brother Neville, or so forth? Hi, Charlie. But now I know that that's wrong. For it is written in the Scriptures, which I say it's not contrary, for if this earthly tabernacle be dissolved, amen, we have one already waiting. Amen. Another tabernacle that has eyes, amen, ears, yes, lips, mental faculties. Yes. If this earthly tabernacle be dissolved, it has a body that can feel, can, yes, talk. And now it comes to me just now that Moses had been dead and in an unmarked grave for 800 years. And Elisha had went to heaven 500 years before, but on Mount Transfiguration they were found talking with Jesus. After Samuel had been dead for at least 3 to 5 years, and the witch of Endor called him up, and she fell on her face, and she said, you have deceived me because you are Saul yourself. She said, because I see gods. She was a heathen, you see. I see gods rising up. And Saul couldn't see him yet, and he said, what does he look like? Describe him to me. Said he's thin, and he has a mantle over his shoulder. Said, that's Samuel the prophet. Bring him here before me. And I want you to notice that Samuel had not lost any of his personality. He was still a prophet. He told Saul exactly what would happen the next day. So you see, death does not completely diminish us as we weep and wail and lament at the grave. It only changes our dwelling place. It takes us from a place to, what is age? If I live one more hour, I'll outlive a many 16-year-old person. I'll outlive a many 5-year-old person. Age is nothing. We're just set here for a purpose, to do something. Well, now many of these little pretty-faced mothers sitting here, some of them 60 or 70 years old, would say, well, what have I done, Brother Branham? You've raised your children. You've done what you were supposed to do. Maybe some old dad sitting here say, well, I've hired the fields, I've done this, I never preach. But you did just what God sent for you to do. There's a place for you. Speaking to an old doctor yesterday, one of my doctor friends' buddies, 80-something years old. And his sister-in-law is here at the church tonight. And she's been just a teeny bit worried about him. And I went to see him. And as soon as I began to talk to him, he brightened up. Told me about a hunting trip he'd taken many years ago up in Colorado, in the very same country I hunt at. Just as brilliant and bright. And I said, Doctor, how long you been practicing? He said, when you were nursing. And way down, I said, many a time, he said, I've practiced taking my buggy. I've put my saddlebags over my horse. I've took the little satchel. And I've walked, and I said, yes, down along the creek banks, 2 o'clock in the morning with your flashlight, trying to find the house where her little child had a tummy ache, her mother in labor pains. So that's right. And I said, you know, Doctor, I believe across this dividing line here between mortal and immortality, God has a place for good old doctors that serve like that. Great tears come in his eyes, and he started crying. He reached up his feeble hands and said, Brother, I hope so. across the land. God judges a man's soul, what he is. Then I give him this satisfying scripture, many times plowing through those dark, muddy fields at night trying to help somebody. Maybe never get a penny for it, but it's all right. I said, Jesus said in the scripture, blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Amen. And that is true.